Good morning. So I am up here at Nordrum Lake. There was a lot more snow than expected, and I am in fact camped on snow. So I wanted to give you a brief update on the tent I've been using for the last 2 years, which is the Dan Durston X-Mid UL1P tent. I have been very happy with it for the most part. There are some downsides, there are some issues that I have had, but overall I've been happy. As you can see, I'm camped on snow, and I have been using this this winter. I think this is the third or the fourth time I'm camping on snow. Unfortunately, I forgot my snow stakes, so I had to end up using some fallen branches. And it is raining, as you can see. As a consequence of that, some of the stakes that I've used, the holes have melted and the stakes have moved in slightly, which is why the tent itself is sagging slightly, as you can tell. Yep. So the other thing I've been doing is I have been using a McCarthy or a trucker's hitch. I tied a 4-foot guy line at the end. What this allows me to do is, one, use snow stakes. My snow stakes are too wide for this dinky little loop. The other thing I can do is obviously tie it around larger objects like branches, fallen trees, rocks, and that's come in very handy because the X-Mid 1P and I guess the 2P also really works best if you can stake this out as a perfect square, or perfect rectangle I should say, with 90-degree angles at the corner. So if you end up with a rock right where your stake would go in the corner, you're going to have to move and shift the entire tent, even though you might have put in all the 3 other stakes. By having these 4-foot guy lines, I can go out further or move it slightly off to the side and still attain a decent pitch. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the poles that I use have rubbed through and created a abrasion point, and on this side there's actually a hole there. So I put some repair tape over it. You should be able to see the abrasion point over here. Not very visible, unfortunately, but this one is also having starting an abrasion point. So yeah, overall still very happy with it. It's light, it's easy to pitch, the vestibules are huge. In winter I've been, sometimes under snow and rain, I've been cooking in the vestibule, which is fine. I can store all my snow gear, except for my snowshoes I usually leave outside. Yeah, it's been working great. So I still recommend it, but I wish there were some improvements, including some more reinforcements at the top. I do recommend that you switch out the corners or add, like I have, longer guy lines, and on the inside, instead of clipping into the D-rings that are behind here, and often you need to come outside to clip them in, what I've done is permanently, by knot, attached this guy line to the inner tent onto the D-ring, and on the other end put a mitten hook. I'm using these, I think they're aluminum or metal, some sort of metal clips, because they're much easier to use than the plastic mitten hooks that are included with the tent, and they're very hard to use, especially when the temperature drops. I can't with gloved hands obviously use them. With these, it's a little bit of a challenge, but I am able to clip in and out. So there is that. So this is the internal modifications that I've made. You might not be able to see this really well, but as you can see on the far end, I actually tied off the lines for the inner tent, and then instead of clipping into the far end, which has always been kind of problematic, I decided to clip a line to the inside. So I'm not too happy with these mitten hooks, but they're better than the plastic ones, especially at low temperature. I found that the plastic mitten hooks that were initially on this line, in winter, the plastic is really hard and it doesn't quite clip in easily. And anyway, I moved it to the line's end on the inside and then clipping onto the bungee shock cord. And that seems to work pretty well. I can stay inside, not having to go outside, and clip in the inner tent. So same with this end, as you can see, and it makes it a lot easier. So pretty happy with that modification. All right, I've got to get out of here, so I will get going. But that was an update on the XMID UL1P tent, especially on snow. Thanks.